Okay, so in this video, we will continue with the assignment. So let's have a look at the next question in the assignment. It says that we have completed now the site links in the last video. So in this part, we're going to look at client machine must be adequately joined to the head office and to the branch offices. So here, there are other videos on the YouTube channel that shows you how to join a client to the domain. This you're going to do on your own. Delegation of administration is adequately configured. Okay, so you need to be able to delegate certain tasks to your administrators at the branch offices. Okay, so then have a look at delegation of administration. You're going to complete that on your own as well. NIC teaming is adequately configured or considered. For NIC teaming, you need to add additional network interface cards. So on your server, you can go to the, in Hyper-V, we're going to go in Hyper-V and we're going to go to the settings of the server and then go to network adapters. And then before we go to network adapters, we'll click on add hardware. Select network adapter, select add, and then you'll add additional network adapters. You'll say okay. Settings here as well. Add adapter, network adapter, add, and then okay. Right? Now, these additional network adapters need to be connected to the virtual switch that you're going to be using. So adapter 1 is connected to the default switch. Adapter 2 will also connect it to the default switch. Adapter 3 will connect to the default switch as well. But if you want to now add, like we said, we needed to join the client to the domain, you would create your own switch. Okay, so how do we create our own switch? We go on the top right hand side here, we go to Virtual Switch Manager. We'll create an internal switch and we'll create, this one is my NTAD switch, right? So this is NTAD, NTAD, and then I'm going to say internal network, okay. So then I'll connect all of my adapters now, go back to the settings, and I'll connect all of these adapters to this NTAD switch that I created. So even your client computer will be connected to the NTAD switch. You'll click on OK, right? So then they are all connected to that NTAD switch. So if I go now, and if I look for, in my server, I'm looking for NIC teaming, right? So I can search, and then NIC. It is not showing me anything there. So where do I go for NIC teaming? Will it be my properties of the server? If I go into the system, so I can change from here. From here, I can see that I've got computer name, workgroup settings, and then I can activate. I can go to advanced system settings. And here, environment variables, system properties, device manager, remote. Let's go to my server manager. On the server manager, on my dashboard, I can see I've got local server. Okay, on the local server, I can see there's all of my different network cards that have been added, right? And I can see that Nick Teaming is disabled, all right? So I can now go to click on the disabled. And it currently says that my host is unreachable. So I'm just going to refresh. Okay, there we go. I'm online. So I can see then on this side here, it is showing me all of my available adapters that I have, and then the interfaces, right? So now I want to create a new team. I'm going to add all of my interfaces. What additional properties are there? Okay, so it gives me some additional properties that can be configured as well. And then I'm going to say, okay. So what does it show me here? It can't find the server name. Okay, so I need to ensure that these here, we're all set on the same network interface. So I'm going to go to the properties of my network and sharing center, and then I'm going to set static IP addresses. It wants the DNS server's address. So you can see now I've configured and I've given it a static IP address. So there's your NIC team that has been added. And now it says it's all active. Right, so this is my team, my NIC team that has been configured across all of my adapters. So I can then go into my snipping tool, take a new snip, and there's NIC teaming that has been configured. So go back into my NTAD assignment, and then they were talking about nick teaming. So this is still part of the, so the questions. Okay, so this is, I still need to go and configure these ones here. So let me go and put it in my document, just so that I don't forget those needs to be done. I want to just paste the text. Right. So there's nick teaming. Then what's next that needs to be done? Let's have a look. Then Active Directory users accounts are created and configured for the head office, branch office, and then home directories are created. So let me go and copy these as well. And then, so domain names. And then user account, server roles, etc. I copy that. Right, so where are we now? Accounts, user accounts are created and configured. So we know that we've got head office, branch office, and then we've got 2 branch offices. And for each of them, we'd need to create accounts in each of the different departments. Okay, so the structure for Active Directory would be, we'd create organizational units for the branch office, for head office, branch office, and then within that, we would then need to create organizational units for the different departments. And then within that, we would need to create users. So if I go back up and have a look at what do they have to say about the organizational units that needs to be created, right? Here we can see that we've got head office, branch office in KZN, and then Gauteng. So there's the different departments as well. ID and passport, birth and marriage, foreign affairs, IT support, and administration. So I'll need to go and create all of this now. So I'm going to go into my Active Directory. Oops, I've just closed that. So let me just open it. And make that. Okay, so I'm going to now go and have a look now at Active Directory uses in computers. I'm going to open my server manager, go to Active Directory Users and Computers. And then in the domain, I'm now going to create an OU. So here I'm going to, I can right click and say create, or I can just highlight and I'm going to say OU. Which one is this? PTA. And this is head office. Head office. I'll say OK. And similarly, I'm going to do the same. Create OUs. KZN. KZN. And this is branch. Office. And then I'm going to create, click again on there, and then I'll click OU. And this OU is going to be for, so I've got PTA, KZN, and Gauteng, GAU, and this is a branch office. And then within each of these, I'm going to have to create, so I'll just do the head office. I'm going to have to create the departments. So I've got a department now. There's going to be, firstly, it's an OU. It is in PTA. And then what are the OUs that I need to create? ID, passport, birth, marriage. So then ID, passport. And similarly, I'm going to create the others. It's in OU underscore, it's in PTA underscore birth and marriage. Click on the PTA again, create a new OU, and this one is OU PTA underscore, what's the next one? Foreign Affairs, IT support. So I'm going to do Foreign Affairs, Foreign Affairs. I'm going to click again on this one, new OU, OU underscore PTA underscore, this is IT support. And then I'm going to create another one for the last one. What's the last one? Admin support. New OU, OU underscore admin. So this is PTA, and then admin underscore support. So in the same way, you're going to create now for KZN. So you'll create OU KZN underscore, same things, foreign affairs, and you'll continue, right? You'll do the same for these branch offices as well. Now, they said create some user accounts. So then what else did they tell us about the user accounts? So we've covered that. Now they want us to say Active Directory user accounts are adequately created and configured for the head office, branch office, and then this 2 branch offices, and then home directories are created as well. So you'll create at least 3 users for each of the different head office, branch offices uh, in each of the different departments. Okay, so we can go ahead and say that here we're going to create user accounts. So you'll create your user accounts. Um, we're currently in PTA. So I'm going to say PTA. Now, these are names of people, right? But I'm just going to make it simple for myself. PTA. And then last name is user 1. And then I'm going to make the name as PTA user 1. So next. And then I'm going to say they must not change their passwords, and I'm going to use a standard password. And go next, and then finish. So you'll continue with this process of creating your different users. And then finally, so there'll be 3 in each of these different organizational units that we have created for the different departments. Okay. And then within this here, they said that the home folder needed to be created, right? So you'll click on the profile tab and then you'll create a home folder here. So we have done this in previous modules as well. So you'll need to create a shared folder. So on the hard drive, you create a shared folder. So on the local disk, you'll create a new folder. And this is for the home folders. Then you'd need to share that and then enter in the shared space. So properties, sharing, share. It must be shared with the domain users. So we'll find the domain users. There's domain users. It's shared with them. Okay. And they've got read access. Then I'm going to share. And done. Then I'm going to copy this path and I'm going to use that path for the home folder. So I need to go back now into the user's properties and then connect to the shared folder here. So I will take a screenshot of this here. So with all my details, I can see. Okay, so here now, you're going to create the user accounts here. So you'll put in those user accounts for each of the branch offices. So only after you've created all of the user accounts, you're going to put in the relevant screenshots. Mine is incomplete. You need to complete it. And then you would need to put in the home directories here. Then Active Directory group accounts are created and configured, includes adding members to the groups, right? So here you are familiar with this. You have done this previously as well. So you would need to do it for each of the branch offices. So in this activity, we would then create, in PTA, we're going to have a group. So we'll create a group here and we'll call it GRP underscore PTA underscore and this one is a group for ID and passport. So ID underscore pass, and then I've created a group here, and then I've got users that would need to be added to that group. So I'm going to add the PTA user to this group. Members, I'm going to add, I'm going to search for PT, is it user, PTA user? Yeah, PTA. Let me search. There's my PTA user, and then I'm going to say OK. And then I've got this, the user that has been added to the group. So you're going to show this as well. And then I go back to my document. I put in the PTA user. Network shares are configured and created. So network shares. So shared folders. So let's go and create a shared folder. So we've got home folder. We'll create a shared folder here as well. So in the shared folder, we're going to go to its properties. And we're going to share this with the domain users. Add domain. Right. So then we'll share that. And then done. And then you'll whichever shared folders that you have created, you would need to then give us evidence that the folder has been shared. So we'll go to permissions. And you can see here everyone has the relevant share permissions. Okay, so you'll take a screenshot of this one as well. So network shares. And then naming convention. Naming convention has got to do with your different machines. So for example, when we went back, domain names, etc. So here you don't need additional screenshots to be taken. You just, based on the screenshots that you have taken previously, we can see the domain name, we can see the username, we can see etc. All right. So this one here, there's no screenshots to be taken. You will just indicate the names that you have used for each of the different sites. So you'll write out the names that you have used so that when I look at the screenshots, I can easily identify if you have used proper naming conventions. Okay. And that's now completing activity 2 from your assignment. In the next video, we'll look at activity 3.